Christmas has come early to the rental market this year, but here's why that might not be quite as good as it sounds. Every year in December, the rental market pretty much grinds to a halt as people pull up the drawbridge and try to avoid home moves until the new year. Well, in 2023, this appears to have begun slightly early, as the November market has definitely been impacted by reduced demand from tenants and also reduced supply of properties to the market. Let's begin this month's roundup by looking at the number of new home seekers who have registered with us looking to rent a property in the month of November. Now, as you can see, that is substantially down when you compare it to October 2023, in fact down by 27.8%. So we're already seeing a reduction in the number of people looking to rent homes as we get into the winter months. This isn't necessarily anything to be concerned about. In fact, this is exactly what we see at this time of year. It's just perhaps started slightly early this year. And coupled with the reduction of interested tenants, we've also seen a definite drop in the number of available homes on the market to rent. And most of the month, we've only really seen 2 or 3 properties available at any one time compared to the average of 8, 9, 10 in previous months. Now, the more positive take on this is that actually supply and demand have both reduced in tandem together. So there has still been sufficient demand for what properties have gone to the market. And when you look at the rest of our statistics for the month, they're actually bang on average for the year to date. It's taken us on average in November 14 days to find a tenant. That's from when the property goes on the market to the landlord accepting an offer, which is actually just slightly faster than the year-to-date average of 17 days. Rents, as usual, have been going at full asking price, although I would say the landlords have been compromising slightly on the advertised rents that they've been listing their properties at. And in terms of rent increases, it's bang on average for the year, 7.3%. Our average over the whole year is 7.5% higher than the previous rent achieved against the property. So what advice do I have for landlords who do have a property coming to the market in December when traditionally things are very quiet? Well, firstly, it depends on the type of property. If your property is a city centre, 1-bedroom apartment, then I will predict that you will still get a lot of interest in your property because those have been in incredibly short supply all year long. So there is actually a backlog of tenants who have been unable to secure a new home during the summer months who will still be interested in renting out your home. So if you have a 1-bedroom flat, do bring it to the market in December, and I think you'll still get a strong showing from the market. Family homes, however, is a different matter entirely, because these kinds of occupiers are incredibly reluctant to move over Christmas time and will hold off until the new year if they at all possibly can. So if you have a family home that becomes available during December, my recommendation is decide whether you wish to stick or twist, by which I mean if you're intent on finding a tenant immediately, you will need to be prepared to compromise, most likely on the rent you're going to achieve. However, I would ask you, are there productive things you can do during the month of December which will achieve a greater rent on your property come January? For example, could you spend that month giving the property a lick of paint, which will mean that when you bring the property to the market in January, you'll achieve an uplift in rent that you wouldn't have got at this time of year. It may be worth holding off until the new year, letting in a stronger market, having done some work to your property and getting a slightly higher rent. Well, that's it for this month's roundup. I'll see you again in a few years' time for our big end of year summary, but until then, Merry Christmas and bye-bye.